There's no more running. We're constantly bombarded by motivational quotes and flashy videos. There's always some guy, ripped, Rolex on his wrist, BMW in his mansion's garage, hair like a shampoo commercial, staring straight into the camera, and giving you the real talk. This life of success only happened when I flipped the switch, changed my mindset, got disciplined, and started grinding. But let me translate what all these guys are really saying. You're not successful because you're lazy. You don't work hard enough. You lack discipline. So you get fired up. You decide you're going to change your life. You turn on that Viking mode or monk mindset or whatever catchy phrase they're using now. You wake up before the sun, take ice baths, start some ridiculous astronaut diet, go full CrossFit warrior, drinking unsweetened Colombian coffee with a stare of steel. You're locked in, unstoppable. You've become the monster. Until 4 days later, you're eating caramel popcorn at 3 a.m. watching trashy reality TV, scrolling endlessly on TikTok. We've all been there. We start out like Rocky Balboa and end up like a couch potato. That's when that inner voice kicks in. Damn, I really am worthless. I can't stick to anything. Let me share a little secret. All those gurus selling you courses and promising that everything comes from discipline, they're lying. Discipline doesn't even exist. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Just another bald guy making a dumb video trying to justify the 250 hours he sunk into playing Zelda. But hear me out. I used to be someone who desperately needed discipline. You know those before and after photos? I was the before of the before. My life was a mess. Depression. Over 130 kilograms. No, not muscle. I lived in what I called the depressed triangle of joy: couch, fridge, bathroom. My diet? A combo of frozen pizza, fast food, regret, soda, Nutella, and a sprinkle of shame. My hobbies were porn, gaming, streaming, and complaining. Not necessarily in that order. No goals. Unemployed, no will to live. I was a mess. Now I'm still bald, but at least I'm a different kind of mess. My transformation wasn't glamorous. It was brutal. I didn't love myself, didn't take care of myself. I couldn't even stand looking in the mirror. Today, my self-esteem still isn't amazing, but I can look at myself and feel proud. How did I get there? Discipline, willpower, biohacking, soy candle rituals? No. I just found a way to actually do the things I said I'd do. That's what I want to share with you. Step 1 is understanding why change is so hard. Usually it goes like this. You're having a blast playing video games, eating pizza, living the dream. Then suddenly, that annoying little voice pops in your head. Dude, you should be doing something with your life instead of finishing God of War for the 5th time. You try to ignore it, but it keeps coming back. Deep down, you know you're capable of more. But right now, you're comfy. Gaming is fun. Life is easy. Everyone knows what that feels like. Who hasn't wanted Thor's body while living on Homer Simpson's diet? So why don't we change? Because your brain sees it differently. You grind for 60-hour weeks, chase promotions, stack money. For what? To retire early and finally relax? Play video games and chill? Then your brain does the math. Why bust your butt for decades if the end goal is what I can do now? That's when your brain short circuits. It always weighs effort versus reward. If the reward feels too distant, too uncertain, it picks the easy path every time. So how do we beat that? How do some people manage to be disciplined? You start by answering one question. What is discipline? Let me answer it for you. Discipline is the biggest myth in personal development. People think discipline is just brute force willpower. If that were true, there wouldn't be addicts, or obesity, or heartbreak. Everyone would just will their problems away. That's not how it works. The internet tried to replace willpower with habits. Make it a habit, and you don't need motivation. But a habit is just automatic behavior, like driving without thinking. That's not discipline. Discipline is when you don't want to go outside, but still run 10 kilometers in the rain. How do these alien beings manage such focus? Motivation. That's right. Motivation is the fuel. Forget the graphs and memes that say it's 99% discipline and 1% motivation. They're nonsense. Motivation isn't hype. It isn't hype squads jogging at sunrise, clapping and shouting. Motivation is one thing, a clear reason for action. From a neuroscience perspective, discipline is a myth. It doesn't exist in the brain. There's no discipline center up there. There is circuitry for habit. But what does it take to build a habit? Motivation. Discipline is just the physical manifestation of motivation. The people who look disciplined, they're just insanely motivated. Think about it. The guy running in the rain at 4 a.m., he's highly motivated to reach a goal. Me binge watching an entire series in one day? I'm also highly motivated to know how it ends. We've all been both those people. So how do we avoid losing motivation for the hard stuff? We lose motivation when doubt creeps in. Motivation is emotional and logical. The second you start questioning, even subconsciously, if what you're doing is right or worth it, you're in trouble. That's not a lack of discipline. That's your brain saying, "Are you sure this is still the path?" If your reasons become unclear, your discipline evaporates. To stay consistent, you need your why to be rock solid. Motivation is the marriage of reason and emotion. It's when your entire brain, prefrontal cortex, limbic system, anterior cingulate cortex, all fire up because you know what you want and why. So no, real transformation isn't a military boot camp. It's about teaching yourself to process your emotions. Because if your motivation isn't real, not even the rock yelling in your ear can help you quit a bad habit. Want to be disciplined? You have to sacrifice comfort. Reject quick rewards for something you want more. Nobody runs at 4 a.m. for fun. They do it because their why is stronger than their desire to sleep. If your why isn't stronger than your excuses, you won't change. But what if you don't know your motivation? What if you don't know what you want? Then that's where we start. So now the only thing left is to figure out what your juice is. That one thing that truly drives you. That reason that gets you out of bed, not because you have to, but because you want to. Because it matters to you more than comfort, more than excuses, more than any fleeting distraction the world can throw your way. You don't need another motivational quote. You don't need a guru shouting at you through a YouTube video. You need a reason. One that's yours and yours alone. Because once you find it, discipline is no longer a punishment. It becomes an extension of who you are. This isn't about waking up at 5 a.m. every day or following a military routine. This is about integrity, about doing what you said you'd do. It's about showing up for yourself. It's about making choices that align with the person you want to become, not the impulses that try to keep you small. People will try to sell you shortcuts, hacks, blueprints. Let them. Your job isn't to buy into their fantasy. It's to build your own reality. One, grounded in clarity, purpose, and unwavering self-respect. Because when you move with intention, you stop drifting. And in that moment, when it finally clicks, when your actions match your values, when the sacrifices stop feeling like burdens and start feeling like declarations of self-worth, that's when you win. Not because you followed some rigid program, but because you listened to yourself. You honored your truth. You lit your own fire. So go ahead. Ask yourself the hardest question of all. What is my juice? What am I really here for? Find it. Hold on to it. Build around it. And then never let it go. That's not discipline. That's power. That's freedom. That's you becoming unstoppable. The only thing missing now is this: to know your juice. That one thing that makes all the effort worthwhile. The spark behind the decision to wake up early, to keep your commitments, to resist the comfort of the couch. Your juice is what anchors you when the storm hits. It's what pulls you out of bed when everything in your body says, 5 more. Minutes. It's not about dramatic speeches or life-altering motivational posters. It's about clarity. When you know what you're after, and most importantly, why, it becomes much harder to stray off course. The distractions don't hold the same power, the setbacks don't sting as deeply, the criticism doesn't break you because your direction is no longer tied to external validation. You're aligned with a goal that's genuinely yours. And here's the thing. Your juice isn't fixed. It evolves as you do. What drives you today might not fuel you tomorrow, and that's okay. The secret is to keep checking in with yourself. Keep refining, keep questioning, keep choosing, because discipline isn't about rigidity, it's about loyalty. Loyalty to your path, to your essence, to your transformation, so write it down. Not for Instagram, not for a vision board to impress anyone, for you. Write what you're willing to struggle for, sweat for, get up and try again for. And if you don't know it yet, then your first mission is to find it. Because once you know your juice, nothing can stop you. Not because you've become a machine, but because you've finally become human enough to choose pain for the sake of purpose, discomfort for the sake of meaning. And that's not discipline. That's devotion. Devotion. Now go. Create, build, move. Not for someone else's dream, for yours. The world doesn't need another perfectly productive zombie. It needs someone who's alive. And if you made it this far, it means you're already on the edge of becoming that person. Just don't forget what brought you here. Don't forget your juice. That's where everything begins. Because in the end, the difference between those who change and those who don't isn't about willpower or even talent. It's about emotional clarity, the raw honesty to admit what's not working, and the courage to go after what does. Every day you'll be tempted to forget, to let life blur your vision again. That's why you have to keep your juice front and center. Make it your ritual, your reminder, your reason. It can be a note on your wall, a whisper before bed, a vision you revisit when no one's watching. Let it ground you. Let it fuel you. Let it shape you into someone who no longer needs to chase discipline, because you found a reason big enough to stay the course. So the next time someone asks why you're waking up early, or choosing hard over easy, or walking alone while others follow the crowd, you'll know. And you won't have to say a word. Your actions will answer for you.